Kelly Kleinman here in beautiful Camarillo, California. Today we're going to talk to Mr. Rusty West. He is the chairman and president of MScan. He's got a lot to say. We've got a lot to learn. Let's get going. Hey, who won Booth of the Year at that convention?
Oh, the big booth of the year at
Yeah.
NADA? That was us.
Oh, yeah.
That was us.
That's
yeah.
right.
That's a fun story. So we did NADA in a very, very big way for many years, back before the 2000, back before my dad got sick.
Sure.
Right? Sure. We really pushed, when I say we pushed the limits, we exceeded the limits of what they would allow us to do. So I was in trouble every NADA show. I mean, literally, they would come and yell at me, and I'd get fined and stuff. And we were kind of the bad boy, I guess, if you want to look at it. So this year, we had the same guy who's done every single booth I've ever done, Jeremy Graham, who's one of my best friends. I told him, I said, look, you got free reign. Just do what you think I'm going to want, and make yourself proud, and it'll be great. And it's the first time I literally didn't have any input because I'm really very hands-on, right? And he designed this unbelievable booth. So we have this really cool booth, and it was big and two-story with a car in it and all this stuff. And I'm upstairs doing a presentation to some big dealer group or whatever. I don't even remember who I was speaking with. And one of the gals who works with us comes up and says, Rusty, you need to come down here. The people from NAD are here to talk to you. And I'm thinking, oh, come on. I haven't done anything wrong this year, right? And I always did something wrong. And I'm like, how is it possible that I'm in trouble, right? And she says, you're getting an award. I said, you got to be kidding me. So I came downstairs, and they presented us with a big trophy. And it's like, wow. The first time in my whole history with NADA that they came and talked to me that I wasn't in trouble, they gave us a trophy. So that was very special.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. So you're experiencing some really, really rapid growth right now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What are you relating it to? Good looks?
Yeah, God, if it was that, I'd be flipping hamburgers at In-N-Out right now. We had a vision about powering other companies, right? We've always had the premier desking tool in the industry, and the good side and the bad side of that is it's what we do, and we do it very well, but we don't couple it with a CRM solution or accounting and all the other stuff. So we were competing against companies that had a product that wasn't as good as ours, but was good, and they were giving it away for free. And so our market share was slipping, and we had that. Well, maybe we either, if we can't beat them, join them thing. So we started powering them, and then when all the digital retailing companies came out of the woodwork, they gobbled it up, and it's been unbelievable. We had last month. We've had this plateau. I'm not going to share what the number is with you, but it's one that's eluded us for over a decade, and we keep trying and pushing, and we get close, and we haven't broken it. And last month, we broke it, shattered it, right? 125% of the goal, and it's the best month we've had in 11 years. So,
meteoric growth.
Thank goodness.
And something that's helping that to feed that growth, I think, is the amount of internet companies that are offering car shopping services. How does that open up opportunity for MScan?
It's the wild, wild west for us. Literally, it's unbelievable. The biggest issue that we hear from car dealerships all the time and from consumers is I get quoted something online, and I get to the store and it's different.
Right.
And most often, there's no malice in that process at all, right? The dealership's not bait and switching. And there are some bad apples out there like there are in any industry, but for the most part, they're not. What's happening is the terms and conditions under which they're willing to sell their vehicles aren't being respected or aren't being represented. So, which causes a big problem both sides of the industry, right? If your payments that you're quoting are too low, then the consumer's expectations are unrealistically managed, right? So they come in the dealership and they're upset. You said it was $350, and now you're telling me it's $450. The other side to it is you have digital retailing companies out there that are quoting payments that are too high. And then you have a dealership that's missing business they rightfully should earn if their terms and conditions were respected. And we've got the only technology that bridges that gap. And because of that, it's been unbelievable how many companies are jumping ship from the other providers because they want to solve that problem for their dealers and they want the consumer to have a great journey. And it's literally, it's one of those situations where there are no losers if it's done right. Everybody wins. So.
It's time we get into the product offering section. You've alluded to several products. Let's talk about MDesking right now because it was introduced first, and it seems to be an extension of your very first product, which was Lease Profit. Tell us a little bit about MDesking.
MDesking is the evolution of Lease Profit. It's actually the evolution of AutoScan, which we talked about early on, right? Yep. It addresses the needs of the sales management and the finance management staff in a car dealership in a very scientific way. We take every piece of information that can influence a transaction and we put the dealership in a position where they can accomplish one of two things, which is they can generate the cheapest monthly payment possible for the desired profit margin that they want to achieve, which is the best shot they've got to earn in the customer's business. And the other side to it is they can take every commitment from every customer, they can turn it into the most profitable lease finance or balloon note program from any lending institution in the world that's active in their marketplace and they're signed up with. And that's done because of all the data and calculation technology that we have in the background. And it's been a wonderful product for us for 30 years.
So MQuote is sort of a hand-in-hand product with MDesking.
Yeah.
Let's talk MQuote.
So MQuote's a fun one. One of the biggest complaints that consumers have in their new car buying experience is the sales process took too long, right? And NADA has done some interesting studies, and it's been a while since I looked at them, but I'm sure they haven't changed much. So I'll ask you a question, you can guess. What's the number of minutes that an average consumer spends unattended during their new car buying experience?
I'll say 22.
170. Okay. Average car buying experience, right, is a 3 to 4 hour experience, most of which the consumer's sitting alone. And it happens on a busy Saturday where the sales manager's backed up and the sales guy says, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to bat for you. I'm going to get you a good deal. And he's sitting there in line 15, 20 minutes at a time, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, right, before you go into F&I. Yeah. So MQuote eliminates that completely. It puts the salespeople in a position where they never turn their back on a consumer, right? So they can sit down with any web-enabled device. It could be an iPhone, it could be an iPad, it could be a PC, it doesn't matter. Sure. And say, okay, here's the vehicle, and get some basic information from you. We'll go for a test drive. We're going to send this to my manager. And we send it to the manager, and the manager now knows what the scenario is. Here's my customer, here's my credit score. You can even sign for a credit application, that kind of stuff. But it allows him to present multiple lease options, multiple finance options, and even a cash purchase option electronically. And the salesperson will get a notification on his phone or his iPad or whatever, a pop-up that says, hey, we've got some numbers for you. And they can just sit there and show it to the customer. Here's your lease options. Here's 16 lease options. Here's 16 finance options. Here's a cash purchase option. And it really doesn't matter to us which method you choose to acquire your new vehicle. We just want to be your dealer of choice. So of all these options, what best fits your budget? And it gives them the ability to do that electronically. The one thing you'll know is that you show numbers to a customer who's buying a car, and the first time you show them a number, it's almost unheard of that they go, really?
Yeah.
I'll take that one, right? They've been conditioned to beat us up, to grind,
Sure.
right? So they can say, look, I like this 36 months with $500 up front, but I'm not going to pay $450 a month. I need to be at $400 or $425 or whatever. And the consumer can literally touch it and say, okay, I want $425 a month, and submit it, and it goes to the sales manager. Sales manager gets a pop-up, and he can rework the deal, see if it makes sense at that commitment. If it does, he can send it back. If not, he can counteroffer at $440, whatever the process is, and it completely eliminates the salesperson from walking back and forth to the desk.
Yeah.
It's all electronic.
Yeah, it makes it a little more of an effective and efficient process. Let's talk about MScan API. Was that developed as an evolution of MDesking, or was it more of an expansion of digital retailing, or a combination of the two?
So both, combination of the two. The MScan API is our technology partner facing product. Every product that we have, our Mgage product, which is our lender and OEM facing product, and our MDesking product, is powered by MScan API. So we have one technology code base, data set, and everything.
Okay.
And it has been, we've gotten more traction with that product than pretty much any product we've ever launched.
You mentioned Mgage. Let's talk a little bit again about Mgage. It's just another product in the portfolio. It was designed for automotive lenders and OEMs, correct?
Yes.
What makes it so special?
So it literally gives the lending institution, if we can break it up lender and OEM, but if we focus on the lending institution, it gives the lending institution the ability to know exactly where their offerings show up in the outside world, right? So one of the things that's a little difficult at first for lenders and manufacturers, big companies to comprehend is it's not how they see the outside world that matters. It's how the outside world sees them, right? So they can have all these complex programs that are really specialized and very aggressive. Nobody cares how complex they are. All they care about is what are the results of it, right?
Sure.
So this gives them the ability to see the results of all of their efforts and also see the results of their competitors' efforts at the same time. So they know exactly how they're positioned in the marketplace for every make, model, year, make, model trim for new and used cars, for every demographic, credit score, driving habits, zip code. They can look and really drill down. And they can take that information and figure out where they're too competitive versus not competitive enough.
Another new product, number two, we'll call it number two, is MDrive. It's also known as What Can I Drive? It's a product, I believe, that was, it's a reflection of how consumers actually buy today. How does it work, and what's the benefit for both the consumer and the retailer?
MDrive, to me, is the most exciting product we've launched, maybe ever. It's a kind of a dream or vision of ours for several decades until cloud computing came about. The resources to really do it properly didn't exist. But it answers the age-old question, what can I drive, right? So a consumer can say, look, I've got $1,500 up front. I drive 12,000 miles a year. I'm looking for a payment that's between $350 and $375 a month, and I got a 700 credit score. What vehicles are out there that I can drive? And literally instantly, they can get a list, right? If it's at a per dealership level, they get a list of vehicles that fit that consumer's criteria that are in their inventory. And we return that list back sorted by what we call PVI, which is something that we trademarked a while back. PVI stands for Payment Value Index. So it's basically what's the best bang for the buck. If I got a $400 a month payment and I can drive a $50,000 car, or I got a $400 a month payment and I can drive a $15,000 car, which one am I going to get, right? And we're probably going to get the one that's a higher value for the same payment.
Sure.
There's two additional elements to What Can I Drive that are super exciting for us, because as we are aggregating all of this inventory and all these quoting rules for the dealers, those elements are taken into consideration when we answer that What Can I Drive question. So from any digital retailing company, if they want to be able to offer a consumer the same thing that we offer a dealer-facing consumer, which is how much up front. I've got $1,500 up front. I want to pay between $375 and $400 a month. I got a 720 credit score. I drive 12,000 miles a year, and I'm willing to drive up to 50 miles to get my new vehicle. Well, we know where they are from their mobile device. If not, they can tell us.
Yeah.
And we know where every piece of inventory is because we're aggregating it. So we can tell them, okay, here's all the vehicles that fit your criteria. And it's instant. It comes back in less than a second. They might get 2,500 cars that fit their criteria. It could be lease, it could be loans, it could be balloon notes, it could be any combination of them. Here's all the vehicles that fit your criteria, sorted by PVI, and go look at them. And then they can say, look, I'm only interested in an SUV, or I'm interested in a red car, or whatever, and we can very rapidly narrow the list down. But we can tell them exactly what they can get, and those payments take everything into consideration: taxes, the fees the dealership charges, all the rebates and incentives and all the lender specials and everything. So it's a fantastic product.
So will that be a consumer app?
So we don't do any
Because I
consumer.
love it, by the way. That's actually is quite amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
extremely impressive.
So we have MDrive, and What Can I Drive is our app version of it. It's powered by the exact same API, right? So MDrive is surfaced as one of the elements of our API, MScan API product. We don't currently, and we don't have any plans to build any consumer-facing technologies. We're very much a believer in, if we're going to be powering technologies that are consumer facing, we don't want to be competing against our customers, which is unique in the industry, right? So all of these digital retailing companies that are ingesting and taking advantage of our API product have the ability to do all these wonderful things and create wonderful user interfaces, user experiences for the consumers out there, and make it look really slick. But at the end of the day, we're the fuel behind it. And the MDrive piece is something we just launched, and we have several technology companies that are in the process of building a user experience around it right now. So we're very much looking forward, and within the next 60 to 90 days, we should see those products launch. And that's going to be very fun for us.
I'd love to talk to you about that in the near future, actually. I think it sounds spectacular. So you also partner with other technology companies. One of them is Texas-based Stone Eagle.
Yes.
And you have developed something called MProve. It's a business analysis tool, correct?
Yeah, diagnostic tool.
Okay.
Yeah. So Stone Eagle is a company that's very much like ours. It's family owned. I think we started within 90 days of each other, so we've both been around for a long time. A bunch of old geezers, some of us, and they do a wonderful job in the finance and insurance aftermarket space with warranty products and that kind of stuff. So Stone Eagle has a product called Secure Metrics, and it takes all of the information out of the dealership management system for every transaction that they've done to show them their penetration in F&I products in the finance office. So we did what we kind of call a technical or technological collaboration with Stone Eagle, where we take that information and then we run it through our MScan API engine on the data that was effective that at the date and time that that particular transaction was written. And we can show them whether there are any lost opportunities. Should they have used a different lending institution? Should they have used a different term? Where the rebate monies that are out there and stuff? And we have found, on average, that there's over $500 in additional profit available on average on every transaction. And what's interesting is there's not 500 on average, meaning that you don't have 475, 525.
Yeah.
What you've got is you've got 80% of the transactions out there. There's no room for improvement at all, and 20% of them there's $3, $4, $5, $6, $7,000 left on the table. And it doesn't take many of those to realize, ooh, maybe we should be more scientific about how we approach our transactions.
Sort of answers my next question on some level, but I think you could probably expand on it a little bit. And that's MProve, taking data and analytics to the next level for the automotive retailing space. That's obviously one example. I assume that there's far more.
Yeah, the MScan API literally is like the big steam engine that runs a factory, right? Back in the old days, right? So you got this big machine back there spinning, and then you can power all these different things from it. And the opportunities for us to power different technologies are almost endless. Obviously, the MDrive got powered by MScan API, MProve's powered by MScan API, Mgage is powered by MScan API. Our desking tools all are powered by MScan API. And we have several products on the horizon, but they're all powered by the same technology. And one of the things that's really fun for us, especially with our technology partners, we'll sign up a new technology company, and we go through a big process of helping them integrate MScan API into their ecosystem. So we assign people from our development team to work with them, people from our support department, our training department, our data team, all to help them integrate our MScan API products properly. And what's really fun for us is to see what they do with it. We have a vision of how we think companies are going to use our products, but every once in a while we get completely surprise. Somebody uses it in a manner we never dreamt of, and we're like, wow, that's really cool. And it's very fun because it kind of shows us how good we are at what we do when we can see what somebody can do and kind of take our engine and take it to the next level. It's really a lot of fun.
Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure meeting with you and having this conversation.
Thanks.
Great success in the future.
I appreciate it.